Okay, I know the dating game can feel like an obstacle race, you know, you're having to navigate all these different things, you're not sure what's going on, what are you to do, what are the do's and don'ts, all of these things you're facing, and it can be really challenging. Now I'm going to add to that because there are a lot of dating myths floating around and a lot of women believe them. You know, these are common dating myths and I want to debunk 8 of them today, okay? Okay, so let's just get right into it. If it's your first time here, thanks for tuning in. Now, the first one, and it's very common, is that women tend to think that dating is for young people. No, it's not. Okay? Some women believe that if you pass the age of 40, you shouldn't be playing this dating game and all of that. Dating is not for young people only. Dating is for everybody, no matter what your age group, right? No matter what category you fall in, dating is for everyone. So don't be giving up hope if you pass a certain age, thinking that, okay, you fall off the wagon because you've passed a certain age and all of that. No, dating is for everybody, but it's just how you maneuver the dating process based on your age group, where you are in life and all of that. And many of the videos on my channel kind of walk you through the different steps and stages for dating. So don't worry about it. Dating is for everybody. Alright, so that's the first one, you know, where you believe that dating is just for young people. That's far from the truth. No, this one catches a lot of women. There's this myth that you have to be persistent when you're dating somebody for it to work out. Like, okay, if I remain persistent, no matter how things are, you know, things are not working out, but if I remain persistent, it will just blossom into what I want it to be. No, ladies, that's not how it works. That's another myth where you believe that you need to put out more effort, especially when things are not working. The harder you go at it, the better it will become with that person. When you're dating these men, right, things need to flow naturally. Everything takes effort, yes, but it needs to feel effortless when you're dating these men. You can't be so locked in that even when you're having problems, you're ignoring all the red flags and everything, and you're persistently going headlong into a situation that's not working for you. You don't want to be doing that. So believing that your effort is what will ultimately determine the outcome of a situation is actually a myth. Being persistent in situations that don't work for you is you abusing yourself in a situation, right? You're allowing yourself to be used by somebody else. And when you're dating these men, you need to know when things are not working, when to cut things loose, when to try, and all of that. But if you're dating more than one person in the early stages of dating, you should not be struggling. If you find yourself struggling to connect with somebody, this person is not the right person for you. You can't force a connection with someone, and you can't force someone to feel the way you feel about them. Right, ladies? So you need to just abandon that whole thing where, okay, that's the man I want and this is it, and I'm just going to do everything in my power to make sure this works. No. There needs to be mutual understanding, mutual benefit as to what you want the situation to be, you know, and all of that. You can't be in a situation where you are doing most of the work and you're getting nothing back in return, and because you expect to be rewarded for your persistence. That's not how it works. People say, okay, then, you know, you keep failing at something, you keep failing, you try, and then one day you must succeed. When it comes on to love and dating, it's more complex than that. This is not like you going hard at a job or going hard at something and everything and you expect some reward at the end. No. When you're dating, you run the risk of your persistence not being rewarded. That just comes with the territory. Okay? And you have to accept that. It's a reality. So that's something you want to accept from the get-go, right? So date more than one person, but don't be too persistent, especially when you're finding yourself hitting several brick walls and you're forcing yourself, you're butting your head against these walls, hoping that things will change. No, it is easier for you when you're dating to just move on to someone else. You don't want to be struggling too much, okay, ladies? Let the man struggle to win you over. But you should not be the one being so persistent and you're putting in your all and you're pushing and you're not getting much back. Okay, ladies? That's not the role you want to be playing. So being persistent or overly persistent is another myth that a lot of women believe in, and they expect now to receive the rewards for their level of persistence, and it does not work like that. Okay, ladies? So just drop that one really quick. And then there's the flip side, right? There's this myth that playing hard to get is how you win the game. That's also a myth. I know in my other videos and everything I've expressed that, you know, you're not supposed to be too easy and let up too easy and make things, you know, men are coming into your life and you need to put up some resistance and all. Yes, but there's a way to do that. But if you wholesale believe that playing hard to get is going to get you anywhere, no, there has to be a healthy balance between how you do that, right? You're going to play hard to get, yes, in some cases. You can't be an easy does it woman, fine, but you have to let up in some areas as well for the ball to keep rolling, right? You're dating a person and you want the relationship to develop over time. So yeah, it's a give and take process, right? You can't expect that you're just going to play hard to get all the time and get anywhere with somebody, because if somebody keeps hitting a brick wall with you every time they try, it's not going to work. And if you're dating several men, you're not letting your guard down with anybody, how do you expect to develop into a relationship? So playing hard to get is a delicate balance, right, ladies? You have to know how to play that game. You don't just wholesale, just play hard to get and expect that you're going to land into a relationship with somebody. It just does not work like that. You have to give and take a little. You have to know when to resist and when to give in, right? You can't just be blanket, just tough cookie all the time and expect that you're going to land into a relationship. So the playing hard to get is a myth because of how it's handled, really. Because I kind of endorse playing hard to get in some situations. You're dating these men and everything. You have to put up some resistance. But just this blanket view that in doing the dating game you have to play hard to get or nothing else will work, no. Watch my other videos, listen to my podcast and all of that. There are other strategies you can use. It's not just playing hard to get, is just one way, and how you use that technique is very important. The reason why I call it a dating game, and it really is, because men are playing certain strategies, women are playing certain strategies, and nobody wants to get used in the process. There's a delicate balance that you have to maintain when you're dating these men. So playing hard to get is not the only way, and a lot of women misconstrue the playing hard to get. So that's why that's one of the common dating myths that a lot of women believe, and it's not so, right? There are ways to handle how you date men, and you date different types of men in different ways to get different outcomes and everything, because at the end of the day you're trying to find who is right for you. You're not trying to settle with somebody, right? And you're not trying to force a relationship with somebody either. So yes, playing hard to get is another myth, that I need to debunk. But ladies, if you keep following my content and all of that, you will learn more tools and techniques in how to navigate this dating process, especially as a high value woman, right? I'm catering to the woman who wants to find true love, woman who is not looking for games and short-term flings and all of that. Somebody who wants a wholesome relationship with someone that can later develop into marriage, right? So that's what I'm helping you do. So just get it out of your head if you believe already that playing hard to get is the only way you can win at the dating game, okay? I will walk you through all of those things. But yeah, that's clearly what a myth that a lot of women believe. No, that leads me straight into another myth that's pretty common, and it's believing in love at first sight. Ladies, snap out of it and quick. When you meet somebody, especially if you're attracted by what you see, right, you're going to have this smitten feeling. That's natural. Everybody gets the butterflies and all of that in the early stages because you don't really know what you're dealing with. And as time goes on, you start to realize, okay, this person is really not what I thought they were, right? So stop believing in love at first sight. It's going to cause you to latch onto this person, and again, you're going to start thinking this person might be a soulmate and all of that, which is what I was talking about earlier. So if you're believing in love at first sight, whatever comes your way now, good or bad, you're going to latch onto that and you're going to try and force a situation with somebody, trying to make it work when it's really not the right person for you. So love at first sight is a big dating myth, and many women fall into this trap. Sometimes women fall into this trap because the men themselves tell them that. The man will come on to you and he'll be like, I fell in love with you the first time I saw you. That's all good and gravy, and it's nice to hear, but actions are always louder than words, okay, ladies? So don't just be listening to everything you hear from these men. They will say what you want to hear, right? So if a man steps to you, it's a love at first sight situation. Sometimes it's just him trying to rush a process where he wants to get to other bases with you, maybe get you into bed and all of that. So if you start buying into the idea that a stranger loves you at the onset, you might now be speeding up certain processes and everything, acting like girlfriend, and you start doing things you normally wouldn't do if you're casually dating somebody. The myth of love at first sight is a big lie, and women we fall for that all the time. And ladies, you need to catch yourself. If you're getting that tingly feeling when you meet somebody, don't assume that that's love. Love is a verb, okay, not words. So somebody can't step to you and say, okay, I love you. And it takes time to truly develop something into true love. And you want true love and happiness, right? That's what you're aiming for. So don't rush into things with somebody and think that, okay, I just met this person, it's going to work out. We both feel like it's love at first sight, so this has to work. No, that's not always the case. More often than not, situations like that don't work, right? So you don't want to start on the basis in believing that this is love at first sight and you start acting as such. That's just you wasting a lot of time where you could have moved on to somebody else. And it narrows your focus because now you don't want to date anybody else. And once you start locking yourself into any one person in the early stages of dating, that's you robbing yourself of finding other people that might actually be right for you. Okay, so keep the net wide and open and everything. Date more than one person, feel things out. So the love at first sight thing is a lie. You might feel that instant connection when you meet somebody, but that connection doesn't necessarily mean it's love. Everything takes time, and time will always reveal the truth about things, right? You might think you love somebody and you're going on over time, you realize, okay, I actually don't love this person. And there are people who, and your heart will tell you the truth. But love at first sight is not where it begins. Attraction at first sight is natural. But once you're going through that process and everything and time moves on, then you can develop into love. So love at first sight is not real. It might feel real in the moment, but you need to remind yourself that it's just an emotion and it can be a fleeting one, and you need to take the time to get to know somebody properly and carefully to decide whether or not this love is real and it can stand the test of time, which is what you want. You want a love that will stand the test of time, no matter what circumstances you go through, right, ladies? So love at first sight is clearly another myth. You may have heard me talk about this all the time. Every episode, every podcast episode, every video, everything. I've always said that you should be dating more than one person. And the common dating myth is that you should only date one person at a time. A lot of women believe that okay, I'm dating this person, I just need to narrow my focus, try and see how things work with this person, and if it doesn't work out, then I move on to dating someone else. That's a common myth that women believe. And ladies, believe me, don't think that because you're going to be dating more than one person makes you some slut or something like that. I don't know what mindset you have, but it's all about the how. How you date these people is what matters, right? Not how many of them you date. It's how you're going about the dating process. If you're dating one person at a time, which is a common belief, you're wasting a lot of time because it's not going to work here. And because you're dating them one at a time, you start to trick your mind into thinking that this is a relationship. So you cling on to this person, you're going through the dating process with them, you think everything is going to work out, you expect a relationship. It's like your expectations are also higher in those situations. You expect a relationship from that person, so you latch on. It doesn't work, that person kicks you to the curb, or you do that to them, whatever the case is, and then now you're dating someone else. You fall into the trap again in believing that this next person, this is now the person that's going to be in a relationship with you. Or you might even get as far as to a relationship with that person, it still does not work out, and there you are. So ladies, you need to be dating more than one person. You see, once you're not in a relationship with anybody, no one has claimed you. So you need to be dating more than one person. Put the feelers out there and everything. Get different types of experience from different types of men. You need to understand how their minds work, what they're looking for and everything. And you need to test people for the compatibility. You need to know that you're compatible with these people. So if you just deal with anybody that comes along, first come, first serve kind of situation, you're going to get hurt. And you can get burnt in the process because this person can come into your life and you allow them entry into your life because you're the first that came along, and that person turns out using you, right? You're not looking for that. You're looking for somebody real and genuine. So you need to be dating across the board to be able to truly navigate to say, yes, this person is right for me. When I was dating, I did not date one person at a time. I dated many people at a time because of what dating means for me. And remember, ladies, when you're dating these men, you're not trying to have sex with anybody. So if you're casually dating several people, it's better for you. You're getting to know people and you're feeling out what the chemistry is like between these different people, and then the attraction can grow and things can develop differently with each person and everything. There's some you're gonna slowly phase out because it's not working. There's some you're gonna cut loose like guillotine style, and there are others you're gonna give the chance to develop into something more. That's what you want. So you cannot be dating one person at a time. So that's a common belief, that dating one person at a time is what's going to get you ahead. No, ladies, that's you wasting your time, and you run the risk of falling headfirst into a relationship that you might not have decided to do if you are dating other people. So when you date more than one person, it keeps your mind fluid enough to understand that you don't need to have any emotional attachment to certain types of people. It allows you to pace yourself as a woman. You don't want to get trapped into a situation where you're too emotionally invested in someone and it's not really the person for you. So when you date more than one person, it keeps your mind, keeps things at a level playing field, really. So yeah, no, ladies, a lot of you keep doing this one. And this myth is where you believe that dating equals relationship. Listen to me. Dating somebody does not mean that you will end up in a relationship with that person. Right? I understand you feel hopeful in the process, but you can't believe that every time you date someone new, you're going to end up in a relationship with that person. And a lot of you try and fast track that. It's like you just met the person, early stages of dating, and you're rushing through just to get to seal up that person in a relationship. You can't trick a man, You can't trick a man into being in a relationship with you. So if you start doing girlfriend and wifey duties and all of that in the early stages of dating, you're just gonna get used. Because while you have lost sight of what is happening, the man is fully aware of where things are with you and what it is. So don't be naive in thinking that dating equals relationship. If you've been dating somebody for many months, don't believe that because he's dating you for so long, it's going to transition into a relationship. That's not how things work either, ladies. Right? No, so that's a clear myth where, ladies tend to believe that once you're dating somebody, by default, you're going to end up in a relationship with that person. No, ladies. When you're dating these men, you have to be clear in your mind. Accept and understand that you're dating these people, but it might not work out. It might not work out with any of them, and you have to start with a fresh batch. You have to have that kind of mindset, Don't think that you're trapped into a situation where if you're dating 10 men or so, you're going to have to make a selection of one. And remember, the selection is not really for you alone. Remember, it's a man that decides to call this a relationship. He has to define that relationship for you. So even if you're there mentally, it does not mean that the man is there. So that's what I mean when I say stop believing that dating equals relationship. And a lot of you get hopeful. These men come around and everything, they're showing you a good time, and you start to believe that this is going to work. It's not about being a pessimist, because while you're optimistic that things can work out, you're also realistic, where you're saying, okay, this might not work out, and you accept that as a fact or outcome to the situation. That's where you need to be. Your headspace needs to understand that, listen, this might not work out. So the common myth in believing that once you're dating, it might be in a relation, you might end up in a relationship. And a lot of you tend to think that, okay, I'm dating him and someone else, the man might be dating other women. So don't assume that because you're dating the person much longer means that you own them. You don't own anybody, right, ladies? And ladies, remember, the man needs to claim you, right? For it to truly be a relationship, he has to accept it as such. So don't assume that because you're dating these men and things are going well means that it's going to be a relationship. That's not how it works for men, okay? A man can check out of a situation like nothing, like it never happened. They have that about them. They can do that. They can also be in something and you think they're committed to it, and they just wake up one day and they're walking away from a situation with you. So don't assume that because you're dating a person, it will naturally flow into a relationship. What you need to do is ensure that your actions match where you are in the dating process with the person, right? If you know this is where you're at, we're not in a relationship, there's no signs of him committing to me like that, you should not be acting like a girlfriend. So your actions need to equal what is happening before you. So you need to accept mentally that this might not work, this might not be a relationship long term and everything, and be willing to walk away from situations, okay? You have to be willing to walk away. So believing that dating equals relationship is a common myth. Now, last but not least, and a lot of women believe this, is thinking that, okay, if I'm dating somebody, it needs to be 50-50. Like, okay, you know, he's paying for a date, maybe the next time I need to pay for a date, or he has been doing all of these things, maybe I need to be doing XYZ to kind of measure up and match back what he's doing. Ladies, that's a myth. If you're dating, the man needs to carry most of the load, right? That's the financial load, the burden of planning dates and all of these things. He is pursuing you. He's chasing you. So he needs to put in most of the work, not you. So don't believe that, oh my gosh, he's doing so much, I need to do more, you know? I need to put out more effort and everything because he's doing so much. That's what he's supposed to do. He's the one chasing you. So don't believe the 50-50 rule when dating men. That does not work. Even in relationships, it should not be 50-50, but I'll touch on that another time. You can check out other videos. I have my podcast and everything. There's also an episode where I speak to what your role is as a woman in dating, you know, because you might not be sure, what am I to do when I'm dating these men? You know, he's doing everything. What is expected of me? I'll leave the link in the description for that, you know, that episode where I talk about what your role is as a woman when dating, right? So believing this 50-50 thing is a myth in the dating world. Women feel that if they don't do equal or more to what the man is doing, then it will not work. That's not true, ladies. You are being chased by the men you're dating. So allow them to chase you, right? Stop trying to have a one-up. Oh my gosh, tit for tat. He did this. He paid the tab last time, so next time I'm gonna pay the tab. Do not do that. That's not your role as a woman when you're dating, okay, ladies? You're not in a relationship where you need to be splitting bills. And again, even in those situations, it should not be 50-50. So the common myth where you believe that everything is 50-50, and once you're dating, you need to match his actions and everything. Whatever he does, you need to do it or more. That's not true, right, ladies? So yes, you know, these are 8 dating myths. I had to debunk them because a lot of women believe them to be true. You don't want to be stuck in the dating game because you believe all these different things and you're playing the game as such and everything. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you navigate the dating process. You want to enjoy the dating process, but at the same time, you don't want to be used by anybody. So you have to be aware of the things that men will try and all of that, and what is expected of you as a woman when you're dating, right? To ensure that you increase your chances of landing the right one. And yes, you might end up with somebody, you might do all these different things and you end up in a relationship and it later on does not work. That's how life is. So you have to be mentally prepared as well to accept the fact that you might be dating this person, you might end up in a relationship, but it does not work out. Okay, ladies? So thanks for tuning in. Be sure to check out another video before you go and everything. Be sure to check out my podcast as well. Check the link in the description box. Thanks for viewing, and I'll see you next time.